Chris and JoJo join us now. Lovely to see you both.
Lovely to see you too.
You survived, Chris.
Yeah, just about, yeah. It was tough at times,
Yeah.
but an amazing experience, 3 weeks, which I'll remember and we'll remember for the rest of our lives. Just good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good fun.
JoJo, did you have, because we know each other from in the States,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Did you have any idea of exactly what you were getting into?
Like, I did, but I also didn't. I always think this with shows like this, you're gonna go in and there's gonna be some sort of TV element, you know what I mean? You're gonna dress up as cats or play family house, but it's gonna be, for 2 hours.
We'll come on to the cat.
Oh, yeah, we will.
But it's it's from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. and it's an all-day thing. And I think even just the, being so, around people 24/7, I never processed that part of it. But it was, incredible. It blew away my expectation that I had. I knew it was going to be good, but it was by far better than I could have ever imagined.
And what about, you're shielded when you're in there, Chris, but what about the reactions since you've come out? How are you dealing with that? Because there's been an awful lot. Positive, negative, criticism, praise.
I think you just do deal with it. Like you said, you kind of have to. You put yourself on, a public perspective. You can allow for people to have opinions on things. And I'm always one people who say, I appreciate people who have opinions. I think when it comes to anything in life, I think it's good to you have your views on stuff. But we just had a great time. Like you mentioned, that it was relentless.
Yeah.
It was so relentless from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. And I always say it from when people view this. If me and you were best mates, Ben, and we lived together for 3 weeks, we would have niggles and we would fall out in that time. Because when you're in each other's space and you can't escape each other, it would be kind of uncharacteristic to not have issues and little feuds with people. But that's why we kind of had each other in there, and it was so lovely because it made you. It was a nice thing to have.
Yeah. I think one of the things as well, Jo, is you've grown up being on TV shows. You understand it.
Yeah.
You're very open and honest.
Of course.
There's been so many different reports over this weekend.
So many.
What's the truth?
Honestly, when I went into the house, day 1 fun, day 2 fun. Well, day 2 actually wasn't that fun, but with with Sweet Voldemort. But then, honestly, day 3, I was now in my own thoughts, away from everyone that I know, away from outside opinions, away from everything. And I sat with myself, and from that point on, I really realized things that I was okay with in my life that I should never have been okay with in the first place.
Do you mean your relationship?
And just so many things. That is one of them, but so many things. And then I, obviously I wanted to hold them inside, though, because I didn't want to air that out very publicly. But there were countless things that I was like, that's not, something that I should be okay with and I don't need to be okay with, and I'm not happy. And I knew as soon as I got out, I wanted to fix things in my life and make the changes that I needed to make, because I don't know, I think you have this experience that's so exhilarated. It's 20 days, but it feels like it's 4.5 years. And the first thing you want to do when you get out is just exactly what you need to do in your life to make it as good as you can. And I think I realized just how not great things were, that I was pretending they were great. And it's been hard, but it's been good, and I'm very happy with where I am now. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that I had you in there for support and for comfort, because even though you didn't know what was going on in my brain, you were still obviously are support.
You did it very quickly. You sort of made those changes at the wrap party, by all accounts, and your ex has sort of come out and talked about that as well. So that's obviously going to shine the light on it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. That was not a plan. That was not an intention. That was not supposed to happen like that. Initially, I was told that the wrap party was something they didn't want to attend, and then about an hour into the wrap party, they decided they wanted to, and so I was genuinely just going to have a conversation before, and then it just led to another. They straight up asked me if I was happy, and I said no. And, one thing led to another, and that conversation did take place there.
Was your relationship and what's going on between the two of you a catalyst in that? Is there stuff because there's clearly a very tight bond?
Obviously, we're close. Obviously, we're tight, but
I think it's our friendship is it's just it's hard to explain. It's just a really strong bond between two people, which is just a strong friendship.
Yeah,
and I think
beautiful.
But
I
it's
think you
platonic.
can have like
Yeah.
a soulmate friendship. I think that's a thing.
Yes.
And to me, it's like that energy of where it's not
Yeah.
like the standard friendship that you have with your friends, but it's you know, it's still a friendship. You know, we
Yeah.
are friends, and just it's just nice. And that's why I found it strange because it was
Yes.
such a strong friendship. But having someone in there to go through an experience like that and have
Yeah.
someone there every day when you're emotional, when you're down, when you're
Yeah.
happy, that was beautiful. Like, that is a genuinely, like, an amazing thing, and probably my favourite thing I got from the whole
So
show.
it's platonic right now, but Jojo, would you like it to be romantic?
Bet.
I mean, he's a gorgeous boy.
So are you, Ben?
He's a gorgeous boy, you're a gorgeous boy, you're a gorgeous girl. Look, he's a great guy. It is platonic. We have a lot of fun together. Life is life, and I don't know any future of anything, but I'm really grateful for our dynamic that we have and our bond that we have, and whatever life does, life will do.
Yeah, it's that age-old Harry met Sally thing, isn't it? That's what it is. Question for you. Was it a very conscious decision that you made to stand up for JoJo when Mickey spoke
It's
like that?
weird, this, because people have asked me this, and I'm thinking, like, did I do something wrong? Like, I thought we
Not
lived
at all.
But in a world, I think it was a very normal thing. I'm
Yeah.
just surprised not many other people did.
Yeah.
It was quite brave, though, because it was kind of still quite new at that
Yeah,
time.
I
And you
haven't-
didn't know him very well,
I
and he was a
didn't.
loose cannon.
And I have a lot of friends. Like, one of my best friends is gay, so I'm like, within that industry, I understand it, and
Yeah.
I've done a bit of my own drag stuff in my time, and I enjoy that community. I can see the talent in the community, and I know that everything that community goes through and stuff. So I just feel like when people are making derogatory terms or terms which just aren't, you just can't use them anymore. It made me feel uncomfortable being in that situation, but it's something that you feel like you have to, you should pull people up on that, because when there's right and wrong, it's like, it's easy to kind of express what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
If there's a bit of like middle ground, I might be a bit always Mickey Raw, I don't know what to say, but right and wrong for me is something that you can freely speak open about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you heard anything from Mickey since, Jojo? Have any of you heard anything? Has he
have
apologised?
not.
Does he understand why what he was saying is not acceptable?
Look, after we had that moment in the house and day 2, we had a lot more conversation, and he did a couple of other things that it was like, you can't do that. And I feel like it was always kind of, babysitting, watching our back, watching his back for him. But I think, no, we have not spoken. I don't know if you have, but since
No.
out of the house.
I felt for him to a degree, because I think that there's someone in there who's just confused, and it's like he's been alone for a long time in his life. I think the last 7 years, he said. So elements of his social, like, life and understanding may be different. So for that reason, I did feel, I think it's hard to have natural human instincts and not feel sorry for somebody who feels so detached from what is going on in the world right now and what's right and wrong. But do you know what? When you could educate, one of the good things about him, on occasions he kind of like backfired, but he would listen.
He did.
And I felt like when I had a conversation with him, he would listen to me, and that made me feel, as time went on, less sort of intimidated by him. And he kind of did take it on him. You could see him listening and wanting to learn. And I think when people get things wrong in life and say things wrong, but they're learning, I think that's a good thing.
Talking about getting things wrong, all right. We just talk about the cats and
What about 'em?
and the litter tray.
What about it?
I'm like, well, I get the impression, Jojo, that like you've lived your life doing crazy stuff like this. Cats told me all about what you do, but Chris, I wonder what your mates have made of the fact.
I can tell you. I can tell you. So one of my best friends, Maka, who was like my tennis partner, my good friend, his family are like, they're a well-to-do family, and they're very nice and respectful, and they were absolutely loving the show. And then Maka's mum was like, I wasn't too sure on the litter tray. Like, the only bit. And I was,
silly.
Yeah, it was silly. It was fun. But we were so in character. When you do those challenges in there, like, we are, some of us are, like, fully in character. And it's for, like, 10 hours.
Most in character.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you egg each other on.
Yeah,
you
and we
naughty
saw-
the two of you together.
Like, the litter tray was the size of these 2 tables combined. So I thought it was a human-sized litter. I thought that was part of the challenge, and therefore we prevailed.
So they did it.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
You
you.
have been the most amazing entertainment
You have.
over the last few days, and
keep it
I
fun.
hope this friendship continues.
Thank you so much. No, thanks, guys.
Are you going to be staying a little bit longer over here? Or are you going to be going to the States? Is this?
I leave tonight, or today.
You leave
literally in
today?
an hour.
Sad times.
Heartbreak City.
I know.
We'll
Heartbreak
watch the
Hotel.
space, though. We'll watch the space.
Yeah.
I love
She's
the
a good
connection
one.
there.
Thank you.
Great to see
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Oh,
you guys.
hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.